through the dark haze. Ladies of the night with eyes of red, vampires in the alleys where good men dread, wolfmen howling beneath the pale moon. But justice is coming and coming soon. From saloons to graveyards where evil sleeps, they walk among us. Secrets they keep, nightmare hunters with souls ablaze, cleaning up this town through the dark haze. Cryptids themselves, yet they stand tall against the darkness, answering the call for every lost soul, every whispered prayer. They fight for the light in the midnight air. From saloons to graveyards where evil sleeps, they walk among us. Secrets they keep, nightmare hunters with souls ablaze, cleaning up this town through the dark haze. The night is young, the hunt begins. For against the darkness where hope never ends.
Good evening, folks, and thank you all for joining us in another edition of the Nightmare Hunters podcast. In the studio with me tonight is Robbie Jed Rains, Mr. Number One in hunting and fishing himself. Congratulations on the #1 release, buddy. I'm
Thank you.
damn proud of you. And folks, check that out. If you haven't had a chance to check that out, pick it up on Amazon. The book is called Kodiak, and it's a damn good read. But joining us tonight is some folks that I know you guys have seen in the chat before. That we showed their video once before, but for those of you who are new with us, especially now that we broke 10K, speaking of that, we will be doing the giveaways this Saturday when Doc can be with us. But for those of you who haven't been with us before and may not have seen their video, they caught some pretty creepy footage in the woods near their home. And we've got pictures in the video, and they're going to be here telling their stories. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Maggie, Kristen, and
Abby.
Abby. I can only see it cut off on the screen. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce them, bring them in, and let them tell us a little bit about themselves. And folks, hey, welcome to the show. We're glad to have you guys tell us a little bit about your experience. Sorry about that, Abby. It was cut off on the screen and I forgot.
No offense.
But my memory sucks, especially for names. But y'all tell us a little bit about yourselves, about your experience in this field, and then tell us with a creepy event that happened to y'all.
Well, we really don't have a whole lot of experience in this field per se. I had a common interest, had a sighting way back of a Sasquatch many years ago. But what brought us up to this was a common interest, and we had a local fella who had said that he had seen a Sasquatch in our area early back in the spring. And we had purchased a new side-by-side and thought, well, let's start, cruising around the trails around the house. And Kirsten and I had gone out for a ride and just out for a cruise. And we were cruising along and we were actually on our way back. And I think we'd only had this side-by-side 2 days, maybe. Not long.
Yeah, it wasn't long.
Not long. So very new to us. So still not entirely sure how this thing totally operated. And we were actually on our return back to the house, and this vehicle had 3/4 of a tank of gas in it. And we're riding along. It's daylight, and I happened to glance down at the gas gauge, and where we're driving runs parallel to a river. So we're driving along and I'm looking down and I'm noticing that the gas gauge has no gas registering in it. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, it just had 3/4 of a tank in it. And we've not gone anywhere far enough to be anywhere near out of gas. We're not far from home at all. And the next thing I know, Kirsten has a hold of my arm and she said, "Did you see that?" And I said, "All I see is we don't have any gas. And you may take over."
You kind of left out the part that we were at the turnaround playing house.
Well, that was much earlier than the ride, but
then we're on our way back, so it's on our mind. And we get down the road, and I look up, and I'm going, something went across the road very quickly, very dark, very big, very quickly. And I'm like, going, Maggie, did you see that? Please tell me you saw that, and I'm not losing my mind, because it was big, but it wasn't a deer. It didn't move like a deer. It wasn't a dog. It wasn't anything that was around here. And it looked like a gorilla bounding across the road. And I'm like, okay, seriously, we're just talking about this. We're just doing all these things out on this cruise, and you didn't see that? And I was dumbfounded.
I'm looking at the gas gauge, dumbfounded by
I know what I didn't see. I know what's going on, and you didn't see that. I thought I was losing my mind.
And I looked over at her, and you can see she's got really long hair, and all of her little short hairs around her head was standing up, and her eyes are big, and I can just see her mind is wheeling like, I don't know what I just saw. Yeah. She says, "Drive up there."
Well, that's what I said. I said, I know exactly where it went across. Let's drive up and see if we can see some tracks or something. Let's just have a look. And
that is where we came across that track that we sent you the photo of next to her foot.
With my foot, with the $1 bill that she offered up.
She was very offended that I only offered her up $1 as she
wouldn't get on the side by side.
Hell no, I'm the wheelman.
She wouldn't get out.
I offered up the money for the photo.
I think my exact words are, "You're risking my life for $1?"
Yes.
Sounds like something we'd do.
I comply.
I was just glad we could come up with $1.
No.
DA, you're muted. Check your mic. You must have bumped it again. Nope.
How about now?
Yeah, you got you now.
I don't know what happened, but did you guys ever figure out what happened with the gas?
Well, no, because after we had pulled back up and we took our pictures and got back in, all things were normal. Gas registered as it should. So I was sitting there befuddled thinking, does it have 2 tanks? And I somehow bumped a switch because I wasn't all that familiar with it. I knew what, stop and go and reverse was and how to get in and out and start it. But I didn't know, did I bump something? What happened? Or is it a faulty light or faulty switch? But I was enamored with, we don't have any gas.
That's weird. Maybe if someone was interfering with electronics.
It is very hard to say. But I totally missed the sighting and Kirsten. But then we found said track.
So when you saw it, how big was it? You can, like, just a rough estimate, height-wise.
It was big. We were a ways away, and at first I was like, deer don't move like that. And that's the biggest buck I ever saw, but deer don't move like that. It literally looked like it took one leap out, landed in the middle, and left, and it was a flash. And it moved. My best recollection, the only way I could think to describe it was, it looked like a gorilla just ran across the road at super speed.
So it was definitely moving on
all
legs.
fours.
It was on all fours?
It was like a quick bound and then gone. I said, and I'm in animal rescue, so my thought is, did somebody lose a dog? But that's bigger than a dog, and it doesn't move like a dog, and it's not moving like a deer, and it's not moving like anything we have around here. So that's when I looked at Maggie, and I'm like, please tell me you just saw that. And she was like, saw what? I didn't know what to do at that point. I was sitting there like, she was like mad at me. She's like, what? You didn't see that. I was mad at you because I thought you were saying, you're going to be really mad. care that we don't have any gas. I care that I'm seeing things, and that was. You were supposed to see that.
I would have been slightly worried that we didn't have any cats when I saw the size of those prints.
So when you got up to the area where it went across the road, did you notice any kind of strange smells or anything in the area?
No, not really.
No more than usual, but the river is just off to the side there, so that's always kind of a
Right.
marshy, stinky smell, but nothing. Yeah, nothing like you would. What is commonly, I guess, would be described. You know, nothing
Right.
putrid or skunky smelling, I guess.
So did you hear any vocalizations or any kind of noise?
Not at that time, no.
Whatever it was on a mission because it was fast.
And it
So-
was broad daylight.
Really fast.
So this is when you took the picture when it was daylight. So how far apart were the pictures from the video time
2
wise?
days.
2 days.
That was on a Tuesday. The
Video
it was Thursday,
Yeah.
and we remember that because it was the full moon. It was the full sturgeon moon.
Interesting.
Let me see if I can share some of these pictures.
Yeah.
Hang on just a second.
You gonna make Race come in and save you?
No, I think I can handle it. All right, let's take a look at this image.
All right, y'all walk us through these images.
This is from that day when Kirsten and I were out for a ride, and we actually, Roger Williams forwarded these to Kunbo Baker, and he took a look at these and came back with, he determined that this would be a front track of what he thought would be a juvenile dog man, that inside print that you saw, what he thought was part of a back heel.
It definitely looks like there's claws imprinting on it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely see the claws.
Yeah, and there was longer swipes off the toes there as well.
Robbie,
that-
what do they call that with the pushback on there on the track?
you talking about in the middle where it is kickback or from
Yeah.
the dispersion, where the primary point of impact, if you're walking forward, is going to be the front part of your foot, toes, and when you push off, it's just kickback that causes it to kind of mound up like that in the middle.
I'm going to bring this up a different way, and that way maybe I can zoom in on it. Hold on just a second. Try something a little different here. Okay, here we go. Let's add this.
It almost looks like there's a imprint of a dew claw towards the back of it, that little divot in the back.
Yes. There are, I think, some clearer images of it as well that we may have sent to. But you can see there's some depth in that print too, because the side-by-side tracks are there as well, where we had driven through earlier, and those indents of that print are deeper than the tire tracks.
Hold
Yeah.
on a second. Kept confusing myself because I had the wrong image up. Here we go. All right, how's that, Robbie?
Yeah. You definitely, at least for that first and second, for sure there's a claw. Then it's kind of marred on that third one, but you can still see it a little bit, and then it kind of really gets marred on. I would say
Well, you can see the four toes,
Yeah.
and I can see why Kunbo would say this would be a front track, because the only one you'd be missing would be the dew claw.
Yep.
But what's
it's kinda,
this?
Well, that's what I'm talking about is the dew claw that would probably back around this area. If it was walking on all fours, then you would probably see that impression like that.
Point of impact.
Yeah. So the way that track looks, it looks like it was moving off to, if you're looking at the picture, moving off to the left, because you see how it kind of
It's definitely got an extended heel like the one we found in Joe Bald.
if you look at the first from the left, going left to right, if you look at that first impression, you can see how much deeper it is than the one on the far right. So all its weight was shifted over to that side, and you see how it kind of it's kind of a gradient where it's deeper from left and more shallow at the right, and you can even see that at on the pad, how it's a little deeper on the left hand side and not quite as deep on the right. That could be from maybe it favors that side a little bit. It might have been something on the right side of his paw, or it may have been running and pushing off to the left, going that direction. But
What about this one? Maggie, is this the same track or a different spot?
Can you zoom back out a little bit, DA? I think that might be the opposite side. Same set of tracks, just opposite foot.
yeah, because see the side-by-side tracks
is on the right side.
Yeah, side-by-side tracks are at the bottom of the picture now instead of the top. That to me looks like the sand was a little bit looser and it just kind of fell in and kind of filled the track in. You can still see the 4 impressions, but the sand looks like it was a little looser and it fell in and filled it in a little bit more. That rock looks like it probably fell in too. So it might have stepped on that rock and brought it into the track.
I don't think I'm quite ready for the nighttime ones yet. Sorry. That's the original one, correct?
Yeah, that's the first one.
Okay. So you found these all during the day.
Yes.
So kind of tell us what progressed up to get you guys to go back out there in the dark. Because if I just seen something that looked like a giant gorilla running across the road on all fours, I might have been a bit hesitant to go back out there without a couple of like-minded individuals with long-range cordless hole punching devices.
Right. You have, DA, the photo of Kirsten's foot with the track?
I believe so.
And that was during that same. That'll give you kind of an idea too, because Kumbo said that was a back foot, and that'll give you kind of a better idea of the size. But what led up to going back 2 days later was Abby calling, having a stressful day and wanting out of the house.
Yeah.
I said, hey, let's go for a ride.
Let's go for a relaxing ride.
I am not finding the one with her foot in the image. I don't think I have that one.
I never really did sign up to be a foot model.
It's not that kind of show, folks.
Right.
I know.
Can you send that one?
Should I charge for those?
Right.
Yeah.
I think we can send it to you quickly, DA, if you'd like.
Okay. Yes, definitely. Yeah, if you can just send that over to my Facebook Messenger, that'd be great.
DA, I'm going to pop through. You might see some color change here, but I'm going to, on the backgrounds here, I'm going to run back and look and see if you might have uploaded them on another channel on the page, maybe by accident. I don't know. I'll go check and see.
Okay.
Thanks, Race.
Thank you, Race.
And it's like I have a bench seat.
She might go around. There you go. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, if you could just shoot that over to my Facebook Messenger, I'll put that right in.
Right now.
Awesome. Got it. You know, I did have that image. I just don't know what I did with it. Hold on just a second. Okay, now I'll share this one.
Sit down. Get down.
Okay, here we go. All right, now we can talk about this one. Let's get this added to the screen. Why did it disappear?
Some cyber monkeys again.
There. I don't know what the heck just happened. Anyway, okay, you want to tell us a little bit about this image?
Well, and looking at this one, this is the one that Kumbo thought was a rear track.
Yeah, I can see 5 impressions. I definitely would say that's a rear track.
And that's
Yep.
the first one we came along, and we just kind of went, whoa, nothing
Robbie,
that
what
lives
do you
here
make of these?
leaves anything like that.
That's the when Maggie sent that one to me. That's the one that we sent to Jesus and had him clear up, and that's the one he clearly outlined, and it looks that one right there looks about the same size as the one we found at Joe Ball, maybe even bigger.
Well, a dollar bill's what, 6 inches?
Yeah, I don't.
That's a good sized track.
Yeah,
Yeah, we have nothing here, nothing that lives here native that's that big.
You know, maybe a mountain lion, but that doesn't look like a cat track.
No.
You can still you can.
Also, what I saw was black. It was not mountain lion colored.
If you look above that stick, you can see where a claw starting to is imprinting out above that stick.
Yeah,
But
so
there again,
this is not a cat.
this is that same type of soil where it looks like a lot of the disbursements fell back into the track.
Mhm.
So it's kind of filled it in a little bit, but
So this one up here, is that a partial track or is that just an impression?
which one are you talking about?
Right up here at the end of the dollar bill, up at the very right edge of the screen, lower right.
What that looks like to me is that looks like maybe it was, because if you look back behind the dollar, that almost looks like a long impression, like maybe we're at the other side of the dollar. Look back there, that looks like maybe an impression. So maybe this is where it was sitting and its two back feet were together. It was in a sitting posture, sitting watching something. Because see how close
down on its haunches.
Yeah, I've looked at that picture several times, and that's what that tells me right there. That looks like it was sitting there watching, and its two back feet were right there together.
It sounds to me like you may have been dealing with a dog man.
That's kind of what Kumbo says he thinks we have here. He said a juvenile dog man, which that in of itself is frightening because that just leads you to believe that there's more of them.
It came from
definitely.
Right?
Yeah, and Toshi's got a good point. That it's shaped more like a canine print than it is a feline.
Okay, so what possessed you guys to go back out there in the dark?
Well, Abby had called and she'd had a pretty stressful day. She's a mom to 2 little people. And she said, "Hey, Mom, I'd like to go for a ride in the side-by-side." And it was later in the evening and it was a Thursday and I didn't have to work on Friday. And I said, "Well, we're going to have to go to town." And I said, "And for certain, we're going to go fill up on gas before we go." And I said, "Why don't we take the river road ride like, Kirsten and I did the other night and, we'll go along for a ride and
See what we see.
see what we see." And it was going to be a beautiful night. The moon was full and gorgeous and it was clear and pretty here. And, normally, my husband keeps that side-by-side packed. He has a first aid kit in there. He keeps a spotlight in there from Harbor Freight, which was in there. However, you need to take the battery with you to make it functional. So that, however, didn't make its way in there. Right, details, just little things. But gas was full. So we went to town and got gas and proceeded on our way. And we had no more than just gotten started on our route. And we came across that full set of tracks that you see that kind of skipped down the road.
Oh, I'm
So
going
that
to bring
was
that image up.
After we went to the gas station.
After the gas station. I said we went and got gas.
Yeah.
So made sure to have gas.
See, what really happened is she offered you up as bait.
Yeah, I was
Pretty much, for the most part.
So these tracks right here.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, DA, I want to test you. What do you see interesting about these 2 trackways? And when I say 2 trackways, I mean look at the side-by-side tracks and look at the other tracks. What's first thing jumps out to you?
Tracks are on top of the side-by-side tracks.
Very good.
And look, either it doubled back or there's more than one.
Because I think y'all were on Roger's show that night when I caught that the first
Yeah.
time.
Because there's your side-by-side track and that print are smack on top of your side-by-side tracks.
It's kind of scary.
It may have crossed literally right behind you.
That's exactly what that means. They went down and then it crossed right behind them. Maybe not right behind them, but it crossed behind after they went by.
Yeah, I told you.
Did you hear Abby?
Yeah.
I don't want to think about that.
Same here, Robbie.
Yep.
It's crossed their tracks. You didn't run over its tracks. It ran over yours.
Yeah,
and
that's
shortly, yeah, there was quite a hair-raising experience coming across all of that.
and look at that track right there, just above where your cursor's at, DA. Look how deep that track goes in versus those side-by-side tracks.
Yeah,
You can
it's a heavy critter. And from the gait on that's it's walking 2 legs. Look at that, how they're paced out. That's not like an animal, leaving tracks as it bounds across the road on all fours. These are strides like a person would make.
Same spot both times and was crossing.
Good question, Abby. There could have been more than one. I don't know. That's a good thing to think
from
about.
the look of that, I'd almost guarantee you there's more than one.
Just made the hair on the back of my neck stand up all over again.
I mean, especially you look at these 3 images.
Up to the day before.
Yeah, were his parents watching out for him?
Yeah, if you look at these side by side, and take a look at that, it's pretty clear that just like as you went through the area, they were behind you, and I would say they.
Well, and it's interesting that you say it because as we we're driving, what I saw, which we ended up taking a video of, I thought was a reflector in the woods of like an older model Jeep or even a newer one that has the round taillight.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm looking and I'm thinking it can't be in there. The woods are too thick. There's no access way. And I'm like, okay. And as I'm driving, though, it's staying in my line of vision as I'm looking out over Abby's lap. And she's like, what are you looking at? And I'm like, I don't know.
Headlights.
Robbie, you're the tracker here.
Is it a reflector? What is it?
This looks like to me that it suddenly increased speed. Look at the stride length difference.
Yep.
Dinner slowed down, apparently.
Yeah.
Weird.
I would say it definitely picked up. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I've never tracked it, so I can't tell how fast it got, but it definitely looks like it picked up its stride length.
So there's the area of the sighting near the Kalamazoo River. This is where? In Mississippi?
Michigan.
Michigan? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm thinking Kalamazoo, Mississippi. I'm sorry.
But yeah, that's all dense hardwood forest, and then the river is right there. So, I mean,
These are great track images.
Very good.
Robbie,
And
you're the track guy. What
and-
can you tell us from this?
what's interesting about this one is when we looked at that first set trackway, they went across the track. This one, they're following it.
how did you describe the steps, Abby? She noted this right away.
2 1 2 1 1 2. I think it was.
Yeah, almost like its pace was very different as it was going straight on.
It was like the same, and then it would mix up, and then it would go back to the same.
Probably stopping.
Were you guys periodically speeding up and slowing down, looking around?
Yeah,
Well, we were
matching your speed.
We were, because these tracks would like go for a little bit,
And then
they
they'd
would
disappear.
disappear. They would like pick up almost. So we'd like kind of like stop and look
Wow.
My
Oh,
guess
they've
is
been
it was
following
matching your
us.
speed.
Yeah.
because
That's what I was
there
gonna say.
Probably pacing
Stopping
on
and listening and smelling and
Yep, there was a lot of stopping because there wasn't tracks, and then they would pick back up and disappear.
because we went along and then we saw that light in the woods, and where we were driving, we didn't have a good spot to turn off and turn around, and we had to go across the power line section that other side-by-sides had been down during the day, and they tore it all up. And I said, I don't want to turn around there, because if we're ever going to get stopped or get a ticket, this is going to be where it's happened. We'll get blamed for doing this. So we went further down, and it was probably a half a mile we had to go to make our loop back. And so my mind's reeling. I'm like, what did I see in the woods? Was it a headlight? Was it a reflector? What did I see? But then Abby's like, Mom, I caught a glimpse of it too. And it, kind of like, you could still see it as we were traveling. So
so while you're out here in the woods, walk me through this. Are you hearing anything? You smelling anything? Do you feel like you're being watched?
Well, we're almost to the hearing part.
Yep. When we stopped.
So we stopped and we shut the machine off, and we just, we're trying to collectively think about what that could have been that we saw in the woods, what we're seeing, track wise, what we saw behind us. And we the machine no more than quieted because, the engine ticks and runs for a minute. And we hear a howl, Robbie, that was likened to what you had captured on that Ring doorbell. And we both just froze. And Abby said, Mom, did you hear that? And yep. I mean, every hair on my body just went on alarm. And Abby and I looked at each other and we're like, all right, now we need to figure out how we're getting home. Because if we turn around and go the way we came from prior to turning around, that's like 10 miles home round trip. Or we're going to drive back and see what's over there. Because I certainly don't want to go the way of what we just heard. Granted, it was far off because that river horseshoes right there. And this sounded a good distance away because sound carries over water. So the river was close. If it was close, we would have heard it incredibly loudly. But as I thought about it later, because we were driving away and did something else where we just were howl and this was a response to that? I mean, those are all things that run through your mind later. And now you've really got my mind going. I mean, were we really being maybe stalked?
So I'm going to play that howl real quick. And want the three of you to close your eyes and tell me how close this howl is to what you guys heard. Y'all ready? Mm-hmm. Close your eyes, and I'm playing the howl.
Here we go.
Close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was further distant, but we had no night bugs when we heard it. It was dead quiet along that river.
But it was pretty close in sounding to that.
Oh, very much.
Just further away.
Just further away, but yep.
Well, that's awesome confirmation, considering what we believe that recording was of. But at the same time, if you guys were out there in a little side by side and you heard that would have been with the moment when Doc was going, "Get in the truck, get in the truck."
Well, we're like, okay, I said, you might as well grab your phone and we're gonna go. I said, I can't imagine that if it was an animal, it's still there.
But seriously, because it was like I time stamped it. You can see it at the top, and I also wrote it out big. There's like a 20-minute. I mean, we fiddled around for a little bit.
It took us to get to
and
where
the
we were going to turn around,
like stopping and
looking
going
at the
and stopping.
tracks.
So we had a little bit of time.
Or we'd been offering ourselves up for
I
dinner.
was going to say,
Apparently,
also none of us are quite stable, so.
But I didn't know were they reflectors? Was it a headlight off something else? But and then that howl kind of confirmed that there was something else we should be worried about. So it was time to go home. And then Abby, she's like, "Well, I'm going to get my phone and video." And then sure enough, there it was. And then so we stopped and we're like, "Okay, what is this?"
No. You saw it and you went to go put it in reverse, and I already had my phone.
You were ready,
and I quick started recording.
Yeah,
well, I was trying to save the video for the second hour, but we may end up having to play it now. That's okay. We're still cruising right along. So what kind of sightings and encounters have been spotted in that area?
This area, I know Val Zavala had shared with me some sightings in the past. They were mostly Bigfoot sightings kind of south of here, but there have been dogman sightings in the area in the 90s. In this particular area, but I don't think much since then that I've heard of. North of us, of course, Manistee is not far from us. That's only about 2.5 hours.
This was
a lot of activity in Manistee.
August 9th.
Ashes in August.
Yeah.
August
of this year.
7th, 9th. Yeah, I can go back.
think it was the 7th was that moon.
That's interesting though, because that was in August.
Really?
Yeah, like August 2nd or 3rd, something like that.
This was the full sturgeon moon. I know it was a Thursday because I don't work on Fridays. So
August 7th. Yep, 9:42 p.m. The video is at 9:56.
Casey Calloway wanted to know, do you guys ever feel like you're being watched?
Oh, I've definitely had that.
I don't think he means just in this particular instance.
Oh, no, I've definitely had that feeling.
Well,
yeah.
Let's be fast forwarding a bit, but the episode at my house.
Yeah, Kristen, we had an interesting episode.
What happened at your house?
Long ago.
Well, we were hanging out, just talking, and all of a sudden, I also have many animals that I intentionally feed. And we were sitting there talking when all of a sudden somebody knocked. Something knocked, but it wasn't on the door. It was on the window. I foster kittens, so I have a kitten nursery set up in one of my rooms in my house. It has a window facing the front yard, and something knocked on the window, very clear 3 knocks. My dogs went wild. We're all looking at each other like,
Awfully late for some. It was like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Pitch dark.
I don't have neighbors that are going to come over and knock. Everybody knows me. They just walk in. And I had a new foster dog that is a bolter, so I had to get him squared away before we opened the front door. And we opened the front door like 30 seconds later, and nothing's there.
And Kirsten lives way back off of the road, so it's
Right.
not as though someone could just walk up to her door.
Right. I don't have people around. I have 2 named. One of them works the night shift, so that one wasn't even there, and the other one was probably in bed by then.
And to get to that window, you'd have to be of considerable height to reach up and
Right.
beat on it.
It's a good few feet. Yeah, it's a ways off the ground, and just it was a very clear knock, enough that my dogs went off. We both said, "Who's knocking on my house?"
And it was loud. I mean, it was a good wham,
Yeah.
wham, wham on the house. And then the dogs refused to even go outside after that, which is
And this was like
unusual.
a week, because we had our sighting, then you guys
Like
had the
2
video,
or 3
and then
weeks.
we went out
2
the
weeks.
second time, which we haven't even gotten to,
Mhm.
and then it was about a week after that.
Yeah, and then it was raining. It was rainy, but she has a lab who loves to be outside in crappy weather, and he wouldn't even go outside. He wouldn't. He kept his ears pinned back to his
that was,
head
I forgot about
and
that.
just peeked out the slider left to
Jeremy
right.
just looked at the door with this look on his face, like, I'm not going out there.
Yeah, he wanted no part of it. And Kirsten's house from my house is like 4 or 5 miles straight down a power line.
That's a lot like something that happened to Tim Baker, Tim Kuhnbo. He said that one time at his house when he lived out in Georgia, that his German Shepherd had just had a litter of pups, and he said he had a nursery set up in one of the spare bedrooms for the pups, and he kept hearing something beating on the side of the house,
And they were
trying to
watching.
get at those pups.
That's crazy. Yeah, it was definitely something forceful, and it hit the window. I mean, there's no other explanation
Well,
for
it took
3
a minute.
bangs on the window.
Right, and it took a minute for us to talk through it. We're like, oh my God, I have a cat tree right in front of that window so the kittens can see out and, get some enrichment. And I'm like, they hang out in that cat tree. I bet they're in the tree.
So, but
Challen Bogus wants to know, is there any more sightings that you've had since then?
not really sightings. We've seen other tracks in that same trackway or that same roadway, but nothing really since that same week.
We haven't been out a whole lot, though.
No.
Or at least I haven't been out with you, because I turned
Work
old
schedules
person
and-
and work and sleep and creatures
So no, we haven't even really
took
looked.
over my life. So we haven't been out in a
Mhm.
while.
And we have hunting season going on here now, which has been going on since October, and everybody's lives are busy. So, but
Well, yeah, during hunting season, it's not a good time to go bigfooting in the woods.
yeah.
Well, that was never.
That's a good time to get shot.
We were just having fun on the side by side.
We were the accidental meal on wheels, I guess.
Wildlife Uber.
Right.
Uber
DoorDash.
Eats.
DoorDash, yes.
Yeah, I'd say that from the look of those tracks, and I think Robbie kind of of a like mind. I think at one point it was literally right behind you guys, following you.
Yep.
Just the whole concept of that makes it all even more frightening.
Because those tracks indicated it was slowing down when you slowed down and sped up when you sped up.
Yeah, that makes sense when you put it that way.
I feel like a greater
Yeah.
candidate for Depends commercial now.
I think I would definitely not be going back out there on the side by side unless you were armed.
Yeah, no.
Well, I kind of question your mentality because right after you guys got back, Maggie sent me the video because I wasn't with them for that.
Oh, you want to go back to the We'll go armed. We'll go armed this time.
And I'm like, you
Probably
just
not a
woke
good
me
idea.
up. I have to work in the morning. No, I'm not going. What am I
Probably
looking
not a
at?
good idea. No. But all those thoughts run through your head. Why didn't I? I should have. And then you're like, yeah, no,
I know.
that's your own.
I'm not saying yes and coming over here.
That's your own stupid self saving yourself. Listen to it.
So the night that let's go back to the trackway where it was following you. Sorry, got to ask the tough questions, right? So y'all had went down that track and turned around and came back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how far or how long in between you going down and then not being any tracks, I'm assuming, right?
Mhm.
You come back on your own tracks and you see those. How far between?
Time frame? What was your timestamp, Abby, when we saw those?
Oh, sorry. It's all out there.
Wake up.
The nighttime one, Robbie, or
Yeah, the one where we're talking about when it crossed.
Oh, yeah.
Where it was following you.
Abby has the timestamp. It's
9:34.
like 20 minutes.
9:34.
So those were very fresh tracks then.
Yes, incredibly.
So that means probably when you came back, it was still pretty close in the area.
Well, we know from the video it was
Really?
close in the area.
Clearly waiting to have lunch.
What I'm going with that is what they got in the video is almost 100% assuredly what made those tracks.
Yeah,
Oh, I
that's
would
what,
definitely agree with that.
At least
Trisha
one of
Arnold
them.
says, "Do you think it followed you clear home?"
Oh, we weren't far from home at all, so it could have very easily.
It goes 2-1-1-2-1-1-2-1-1-2.
Oh yeah, you can see it really well there.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys were slowing down or stopping, where it
Oh,
goes
yeah, all the
2-1,
time.
it probably where it just stopped.
Stopped and watched.
I can see it take off running, and y'all slow down, stop, and it stops. Then y'all take off, and it takes off, and then it's
Well,
just a pattern that repeated.
That's a fairly common behavior, especially with Bigfoot and Dogman sightings. It doesn't want you to hear its tracks, and when you're moving, it'll move.
Yeah, you can't hear anything
GoPro
over
on
that
the
thing.
back.
That I mean,
Yeah, do the Scott Carpenter method. Put your GoPro on a gimbal facing back.
that's something that they teach in all kinds of advanced. Like, if you're out in the wilderness and you're next to a river and you're talking and you don't want people around you to hear what you're saying, you're taught to speak with the flow of the river. And I know it kind of sounds funny, but you match the flow of what's going on, and that way your words. It like if DA and I were sitting there talking, and there was somebody, 10, 15 feet away, and we didn't want them to hear what we were saying. You matched the tone and flow of the river, and DA would be able to hear what I was saying, but nobody else would be because it would just flow with the sound of the river. Same
Sure.
thing. You move when the wind moves. You move when whatever you're stalking or tracking is moving.
Makes sense. That side by side's not quiet by any means. Even when it's idling, it's loud.
Yeah, it would still be hard to hear something sneak up behind you.
I'm gonna tell you, the skin on my forearms it looks like a bald chicken. At the thought. Like I say, look, when you're in the business of silence, of invisibility, camouflage, trying not to be seen, these things are professionals at it. That's how they've made it this far. But to have tracks over their tracks, that just tells me that where they were sitting taking those pictures, they could have tossed a pebble and probably hit that thing standing there watching you. And I've been in the dark, you know what I mean, like that. And I'm telling you, my skin is chicken skin. Good.
I honestly was not trying to serve you up for dinner to anything, child.
You told me the same thing. You're not alone. I don't ever tell you that. Well,
don't believe it.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, next time you go, take me or Robbie. We ain't no way either one of us are outrunning you.
Come on anytime. You can come to Michigan. I'll take you out there.
We've only got about 13 minutes left until we've got to take a break for a commercial. But I want to ask you guys a few questions before we reach the break, and I'm kind of trying to save the video for the second half because to me that video is just so freaking cool that we want to talk about that at length, and I don't want to have to take a commercial break in the middle of us talking about the video. What do you think about the information of it being that close? I mean, did you guys did it not? Now that it's sinking in, we're talking about it was probably right behind you. Does this change how you're going to approach this in the future?
Very much so. It's frightening.
I'm glad I told her I was busy and I couldn't go out that night.
I thought I'm usually always busy. So this is the one time I actually went out of the house. Honestly, probably.
All that much closer to filming my Depends audition commercial than I knew, I guess.
And we refer to it as a brown pants moment.
Oh. Yeah, no, that really does.
There's going to be some new things packed in that emergency bag for the side-by-side.
It certainly is.
From now on, it's the up-armored side-by-side.
Exactly, yes. No, it definitely lends a whole new perspective on it. That's terrifying to think.
Well, and when you start looking at and breaking down that trackway, it's pretty obvious when you look at it that, especially when you look at the time frame, your sandwich, so to speak, the time you went through and the time you come back through, the tracks were there. You said it's about 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So that paints the picture that I need to see, that it was very curious. Let's just put it that way. It was interested. Yeah.
Well, because they disappear and then they come back in. Yeah. So it was like when we were stopping it was definitely keeping an eye on us.
Mm-hmm.
And judging by the position of those tracks, like Robbie was saying, it was either right behind you or within just a minute or two, because those tracks are really fresh.
Well, and it lends you credence to the fact that there could be obviously more than one, and it makes you think the whole juvenile thing through even further.
Right.
How many juveniles are there? I mean, do they have more than one? Do they have litters? I mean, nobody knows, but
do twins run in the family?
Right.
Well, I'm glad you guys got home safe, because to me that was I think you guys were just being stalked.
And with the fact that like if Kumbo's right and it was just a juvenile, maybe it was just a practice, or that was its practice, was stalking and trying to track y'all. So maybe you weren't on the menu, so to speak, but maybe you were just a game it was playing to learn.
I had a question for you also. Did you record the howl after getting back to the house that same night? That howl wasn't, they didn't, if you're referring to the one we played, that was recorded in South Carolina. I just wanted to make sure that the howl was similar. But did you guys get a chance to make any recordings of the vocals?
We did not. We had just shut that side by side down and just kind of sat there just trying to regroup and try to figure out what.
That wasn't back at the house either. That was on the side-by-side trip that we heard that howl. It wasn't when we got back here. When we got back here, I got in my car and I went right on home. I was not around to be in this neck of the woods.
I think y'all should mount a GoPro to the back of the side-by-side and take an audio recorder next time you're out riding around.
Well, the following time that we did go out with actual flashlights and didn't see anything, I did have my GoPro with. We came prepared the second.
I think we should do back and front, because she missed my sighting too. So clearly you can't see what's going on in front of
I was
behind
looking
you.
at the gas
She's a
gauge.
prescription checked.
Yeah, but did neither one do that? I'm a good wheelman.
But did neither one of us
That's my
die? Not this
That's
time.
my purpose.
Slightly.
Do you see what kind of friend I have and what kind of mother she has?
Again, neither of you have died yet.
I've had some close calls.
And that's what I tell my kids all the time. But did you die?
Right? And this one says, but I've had some close calls.
My youngest goes out with us. He's 26. He goes out with us, and he will. He's earned the title, the official Robbie Wrangler, because Robbie will just take off right into the thick of things. So Noah's job is to keep an eye on Robbie and watch our backs with the camera.
I have left her in the woods, but that's been at a snake sighting. I have peeled off as a tiny little girl, left her because she brought snakes to me when she was little. But
Don Donaldson wants to know if you guys heard any howls lately.
nope, we haven't really heard anything other than the normal sounds that are around here during this time of year.
My guess is they're going to get very scarce until after deer season.
I live in a different city, so.
But see, think about DA. When the first time we were in Joe Bald, when was it?
It was in November.
And we're pretty sure that was Bigfoot activity then. But then when you were there, or when we were there in August, or sometime in the summer, it was flip-flopped. And we felt like it was more of a dogman type thing.
I think the territories definitely overlap.
Yeah. And the howl around here
cute
was in
puppy.
August. Their howl and their encounter was in August. Maybe there's something to this flip-flopping of territories during certain times of the year.
I think it's definitely worth looking into.
I know Mark Green had an encounter, and his was the same day that we had ours. That was August 7th. His was in Alabama, however, but that was the same day. I recall
Can
that.
you tell us a little bit about that encounter?
I just remember they did a show on it with Jeff Yerington, that he had a dogman encounter in his field when he was on his tractor, but that was the same day. It was in August also.
I have to reach out to him, see if I can get him to come tell a story. We are coming up at 5 minutes till the beginning till the top of the hour, so we're getting ready to have to pay some bills. We'll take a quick pause because a lot of this goes out on other networks as well, including iHeartRadio. So we're going to take a quick pause to pay the bills, and Race is going to take over, and we will be back with y'all in just a few minutes.
The new book, How to Research a Haunted House by paranormal investigator Margie Kay and professional researcher Violet Wisdom, is now available from Unex Media. This one-of-a-kind book explains how to do research on a house with uncommon methods and resources used by historic home researchers, and how to determine who may be doing the haunting and why. How to Research a Haunted House can be used by homeowners, renters, investors, and it should be in the library of all professional paranormal investigators. Get this unique book at unxmedia.com or amazon.com. That's unxmedia.com or amazon.com. The Unex Network presents a health and wellness spiritually based brand of hemp-derived CBD products made by Hopewell Farm in Harrogate, Tennessee. We apply our Kathara energy work with all of our plants and products. Our products made in small batches with only 2 ingredients of pure hemp, full spectrum crude oil, and coconut-derived MCT oil. Third-party lab tested for potency and legal THC levels with 6 strengths of 1 ounce oil to choose from. Know what you're buying and get what you pay for from Hopewell Farm. Applied directly to a specific area, Hopewell Farm topical salve in 1 ounce and ½ ounce sizes, made with pure hemp crude oil, comfrey extract, and all natural ingredients. Find the Hopewell Farm link and coupon code on the Unex Network website at unxnetwork.com. That's unxnetwork.com. In the shadows of forgotten lore, where legends leave footprints and nightmares are written in blood, He's the voice of modern horror, the best-selling author, and cryptid researcher, the name behind the nightmare. D.A. Roberts. Joining him in the field, renowned author and field investigator, the man who tracks what others fear to name. The cryptid hunter, the cast master, the one they call Robbie Jed Raines. And the voice of reason in the madness, the analyst, the investigator, the one who sees through the fog. Carrie Doc Davis. Together, they walk the edge of legend and reality. This is the Nightmare Hunter Podcast.
And we're back, folks. And here in just a moment, we're going to be playing that video for you. We're back with Maggie, Kristen, and Abby. And we're going to be jumping into the video here very shortly. But if you've missed the first half hour, I highly encourage you to go back and watch it, because we've been showing the pictures of tracks of what we believe to be a dogman. We also played the recording of the dogman howl that was recorded near Pickens, South Carolina, so they could verify there was a similar call.
We don't have any sound.
Muted.
Am I muted again?
No.
No, I can hear you.
Oh, there we are.
Oh, okay.
Oh, now we're in.
Oh no.
What'd you do?
Nothing. I was hanging on there and
I thought,
froze.
I thought my mic was
Sorry.
muted again. I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, wait a minute, have we got an issue?
And we don't have any
but,
sound
you know,
again.
What? How?
We can hear you.
Not touching this. Is it freezing? No.
Well, why did you, when you logged off of there, was there no
Maybe
sound
it's
on
fixing
there?
it. I have no.
Oh, there it goes.
Can you hear us?
No sound again. Something on that end must be. It's just there.
Just wanted to confirm that we've got everything unmuted and open over here, so I can
I
hear
know.
all
Ah,
I think.
Now we're
all
on.
good.
in here.
Nope.
Can
Can
you
y'all hear
now?
us now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know what the
I can't
glitch
hear
was,
DA.
but
No,
can't
it just
hear.
went again.
That's weird. Because everything seems to be working fine on my end. Can you all in the
That-
audience hear us okay?
The mouse?
Race, you hear me all right?
I hear you. perfectly, DA. Right.
Yeah, I can hear everybody too.
I hear Ron. Yeah.
Keep going in and out.
Yeah, we keep going in and out.
Why don't you sign out and sign back in real quick and see if that helps?
Okay.
It's all frozen. That's why.
Sometimes it does that, you know. However, these nodes gather these streams. Sometimes when we go into a commercial break and disconnect the primary, it can cause it to unlatch and have to reconnect again while they're still here, or you're still here, or I'm still here. And just backing out and then re-signing back in through the link that you provided them usually does the trick.
I had to remove that. They were froze up.
Let's see.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay, now we can hear you.
Turn
Well,
your turn your phone sideways, can you?
Yeah, I can.
That screen is so tiny.
Oh, let's see. We had to switch to a phone. The computer kept talking well after you guys were gone. It was weird.
Gotta love the glitches. It would be a Nightmare
No,
Hunters
it's doing it
podcast if
again.
we didn't have
What
some
the
sort of
heck?
And
weird
now it's
screw up.
frozen again.
Now we're froze again.
No, you can't be.
Now we can see.
Yeah, we see you guys and hear you.
Yeah, that's got to be something intermittent with their internet there. If it's happening to the computer and the phone.
Somebody
Goodness,
mentioned that,
I hope
that
there's-
satellite.
I hope there's
Yeah.
nothing outside the window.
Stop it, 'cause
I heard that.
I heard
Yeah.
that one. Oh, scary.
Yeah, y'all aren't freezing on our end.
Yeah, we could hear you and see you.
Yeah, that's weird. You guys freeze up on our end. Okay, let's try that maybe.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully things will keep connected. Without getting too much further into this, I would like to show the video, and then, how about you guys talk us up to what happened right up to the point we play the
There
video?
it goes. Gone again.
Gone again? Ah, crap.
I don't understand what's going on.
I don't understand it either.
We can hear and see you guys.
Try it on the computer again. Your phone hurts my eyes. I'm old. I need glasses.
I don't understand. I don't understand what's doing. I can hear somebody.
Is your volume down?
No, it has nothing. Mom, it's doing it on both. It has nothing to do with my volume.
There's.
Can you hear us now? Can you hear us
I
now?
can hear, yeah, we can hear
Can
you.
hear us now?
Yes.
Do me a favor. Do me a favor. Log out on your phone, get back on your computer, and come all the way back in again and see if it solves it. If it doesn't, it's got to be something on your internet, on your end with the internet. But a lot of times, fully retracting yourself and then coming back, it solves it.
Okay. I wouldn't doubt it's our internet. We're out in the sticks, but
Well, I can hear you perfect and see you perfect right now.
huh. All right, let's see.
So if you can hear us okay, then we can probably just rock now and see what
Yeah.
happens.
We seem to be okay right
Seem
now.
to be working.
Everybody
Yeah.
freeze. Don't breathe.
Yeah,
Don't touch
maybe it
me.
just doesn't
Don't
like
speak.
me.
Don't touch each other.
Hold
Don't
still.
move, don't
Okay,
wiggle.
there we go.
Fingers.
Okay, well, go ahead and tell us a little
It
bit.
did it again.
Yeah, I just did it.
What in the?
What the?
I'm gonna freak out.
Uh-oh, Raggy.
We'll be all right.
I'm just gonna sit back and watch the show because I have no idea what to do.
Okay, I'm gonna log out of here.
It wouldn't be normal if we didn't.
Okay. Well, hopefully they'll be right back. There we go.
Okay, maybe
Hello, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Ground control to Major Tom.
All right, we have liftoff.
All right, we're working for the moment. So let's keep our fingers
All right.
crossed. So maybe the third time's the charm. Why don't you guys give us a little bit of the background and talk to us about this video before we play it. So bring us up to everything that happened up to the point you started recording this video.
So the video comes about after we had seen something in the woods after, the whole driving along. And I thought what I was looking at was maybe a reflector on an older Jeep, or maybe even a newer one because they have the round reflector. The color was a little off, but it didn't fit with where we were. Very densely wooded once you're off the shoe track, and there's no access way for a vehicle to be in there. And I don't know how they would have gotten one in there. Was high off the ground, and as we're driving, I'm thinking, okay, this is not adding up, because if it was a tail light or reflector, I shouldn't still be seeing it. It was I'm still being able to see it in my field of vision as I'm looking over Abby's shoulder, because I'm driving the side by side. I'm looking off to my right. And she said, Mom, what were you looking at? And I kind of explained to her, and she caught a glimpse of it. So we had gone and made our way around. We had to go about a half a mile, and it took us, I don't know, we sat for probably 15 minutes. It was 20 minutes, maybe the whole time that we kind of shut the side by side down, and just kind of collectively tried to figure out that what could be that light was out there. It was not anything we'd ever seen before. We'd obviously been down that way before, not far from home. And we'd no more than shut that machine down, and the engine had cooled and quit the tinging and the fan had stopped running. And we heard the howl that we talked about and you played earlier for us, Robbie. And so we decided that it was time to get moving. And if we were to turn around again and head back east, it would take us, it's a 10-mile trip to get back to where we need to be to get into an area to get home. Or we decide, all right, we're going to see what the light in the woods was, whatever that may be. And so Abby was ready with her camera as we went by, because we want to see what this is, obviously. If it's still there, we didn't know. It could be an animal.
I just had my phone.
You just
I
had your
wasn't ready with
not
the
a camera,
I
you just had your phone.
That
But-
generation.
Yes, well, they always have them in their hands. So, we decided to go back that way rather than make it take a 10-mile round trip home. So we'll lead you up to the video.
Alrighty.
She
And,
put it in
folks-
first, by the way. This video is us going backwards.
Yeah, we back
because
up.
we both saw it and we were like, oh, what was that? So there's a little bit of time. I grabbed my phone out and this is where we have.
And folks, I've watched this video a few times. As you watch this, it's going to be obvious what you're going to see. You're going to see the eyes, but watch how much closer it gets toward the end of the video. So I'm going to go ahead and play the video now.
It just blinked, Abby. It's green-eyed now. What the fuck is it? Whoa. What are we dealing with? You ready to move? You ready?
It was almost on top of you when it popped back up there at the end.
I could not get that side-by-side gear, and I had to ask Gabby twice, "Are you ready?" Because I can't get this to go.
Notice I didn't say anything the entire video.
It covered a lot of distance
Like,
very quickly.
Zoom
And
in.
the Eyeshine looked just like what we saw in Joe Bald that night.
Oh, it felt like it made eye contact with each of us at one point. It was just, and when something stares back at you, that's a very, I don't know, almost a, how did you phrase it, Abby? Soul-sucking feeling.
Yeah, like I almost felt like, oh yeah, I made eye contact with it for sure. And it felt a little weird.
Well, judging by the size of the Eyeshine, it was a good size animal.
Yes, and the only lights on it were the headlights that were headed, the headlights are facing to the west, and we're looking out over my left side.
I think I had my
So-
flash on, but not that does very well. I don't even have the 3 cameras.
So it was reflecting the light from your headlights.
Yes, but the headlights weren't even shining directly at it. The headlights were facing
the road.
So
where-
that-
we're looking out over my arm in the.
That kind of goes right along with what our theory about tapetum lucidum. Tapetum lucidum is a layer that forms on the back of the eyes of nocturnal animals, and that's what causes eyeshine. On different animals, it's thicker than in others. And what tapetum lucidum does is it picks up and redirects light back through the cornea, back through the pupil, to give the creature a second chance to see the light, thus improving their night vision. But for animals that are nocturnal and spend a lot of time underground, which we think, they have a much thicker layer of tapetum lucidum, and that would explain the headlights reflecting the eyes, even reflecting that bright, even though the headlights weren't pointed directly at it.
Yep.
Well, and that's what drew my attention to it in the first place when we were simply driving by, is what in the world, because this was probably 50 yards out. I'm like, what is out there? I mean,
Well, there's nothing there. There's no houses.
There's nothing there.
You're in the middle of
There's-
is that state
there-
land or it's
that's
not
state forest.
Yeah,
State
it's
land.
state
State
land.
forest. So there's no
There's
homes
nothing.
out there.
We went back a couple days later when I got another break. And that video is like mapped out on my Apple Maps because I took it with the phone. You know, it does all that cool technology stuff. We tried to pinpoint it and match like sticks up from the video to see what the depth of the ground was and stuff. And you just couldn't really find that exact spot, even with the exact location. You couldn't match it up, but it's all pretty flat there.
Pretty level ground out there. So it's got some height to it, obviously.
Yeah, it's clearly got some height to it. But the funny thing is when it got closer, it was down lower.
Yes, I don't know if it was like
Crouch.
I think it was
crouched
crouched down.
yeah. I was like,
Yeah, I definitely think it was like either crouched down or like ready to move, preparing to spring.
But that whole feeling, I could not for the life of me put that side by side in gear, and it was simply a matter of moving it one slot, and it just my whole being couldn't function. I was etch a sketch in muscle memory and thought process. Couldn't do it.
When you've got a fear and adrenaline dump, fine motor skills go out the window.
Oh, it went completely to crap.
They taught us that in a law enforcement academy years ago. That's why they taught us what they refer to as the monkey paw method. When you grab a magazine, you grab it by the top and palm it with your hand because you lose all that little fine finger motion.
Well, I think that's why I asked Abby twice, are you ready? Because I think I was trying to confirm to myself that, yeah, you really can do this, but you can get it in gear. Let's go.
Yep.
That is a great, and afterwards, did you all feel tired?
Oh, yeah. But, your brain keeps running through the scenario over and over and over. So
I was not tired afterwards.
You just wanted to go home.
That was like adrenaline almost. I was.
Oh, yeah. It pumps you up, but then you get the adrenaline dump and you're like, ugh. But then your brain keeps going because you're trying to replay the scenario. And then you have the, well, I should have, and why didn't I? And it's like, I think it all worked out the way it should have, because clearly we could have served ourselves up for dinner.
I think you're fairly close to.
Yeah, no, I say that now, looking back at it and talking with Robbie with the tracks over our tracks. And
Robbie, thoughts?
Well, when Maggie gave us permission to show it the first time we showed it on the show, we actually kind of slowed it down and started kind of piecing together what it looked like. And you can, if you freeze frame it, you can actually kind of see the outline of what looks to be like a canine top head in that. So,
especially once it's getting closer.
Yeah, in my opinion, 100%, it was a dog man, wolf man, werewolf, dog, whatever you want to call it. Okay, you talking about PNS backlash?
Yeah, I would definitely say I would have had some PNS backlash because we went that night in Moon Valley. Every one of us had it.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to show that video one more time. It's only a minute long. I'm going to go ahead and play that video another time just to kind of let that one sink in for everybody that's watching at home. So let's hit that again.
There's no place.
It's gotten closer.
I could hear you messing with the gear shift, trying to get.
I could not, for the life of me, get it to function. I'm just glad I didn't.
I can also hear that quiver in your voice.
That was probably the 30th time I've watched that video, and I'm just now hearing myself. I did say something. I said, "Oh, there's no eyes."
You said it's no eyes right now. It's moving. Yes, let's go.
You said at one point in the video, you said it's green now. Was it a different color?
The color changed.
What color was it before?
It had kind of an amber yellow cast, and after it blinks, if you notice, its eye color comes back different, which would be the tapetum lucidum you're talking about as it's gathering and losing more light.
And see, that's something I've been thinking about. Remember, I told you about mine encountering LBL. As soon as I clicked my headlamp on, it was like that bright green. but I was shining light directly at it, and it was the
I think
same
direction
color.
of light affects it.
Yeah, and it was the same color that when Maggie's talking about it changing, it was that color as soon as I clicked light up. But it acted just like that. It stared right at us. It blinked. It kind of moved around that tree a little bit, but it never like tried to scurry off or anything like that.
No, it was not afraid
just
of
like
us at all. I mean, like you said, it came closer to us, and it was just. It definitely made your blood run a whole different direction of cold. It was, like I said, I couldn't function. I couldn't get that in gear. It was. I'm just glad I didn't have a clutch to operate or an ignition key to turn and do all of it. I'm glad it was still running.
After all of that, does that kind of put a new light on what was knocking on the side of your house?
Yeah, well, that was the house knocks was after that.
Yeah, but it still could put
Now.
it.
But yeah,
put it in
Now does it
perspective.
put
Yeah.
perspective on it?
Yeah, I mean I have dog kennels outside of my house where I had a feral dog living, and by feral, he wasn't inherently aggressive, but he was not a dog you could touch, and I'd have to go out and feed him every night. And every once in a while, and we'd been talking about this for at least a couple
Good
years,
question,
even
Renee.
before all of this happened, about how, every once in a while I'd go outside to feed Jack, and there was just this feeling where I'd just prickle up and I would turn around and go right back inside and be like, nope, not doing it. And yeah, it makes you think.
Miss Lene said, could the color change possibly be because there was another one there, maybe two or more?
The color changes actually after it blinks. You'll notice that its eye color comes back differently. That's not to say that there's not other ones there and we're seeing a different one blink, but
Robbie, you want to take that one?
most, and I don't know the exact color you got, but most like feline eyeshine is more of I guess you could call it a greenish color, but it's not anywhere near as bright and as luminescent as that is. It's almost like help me out, Dave, like a clear green or transparent green. Would that be?
Yeah.
more of a chartreuse.
That's why I said I green is the color I know. I don't know all these shades, but that's not. Most of the time, when you see eyeshine from most animals, it's more of a clear color, and you can just kind of like see almost like a white, a softer white light reflecting off their eyes. There are some animals. What color are wolves, Da?
According to this, I consulted the Googles. It said green is most common in animals like foxes, cats, and dogs. Blue is seen in animals like horses and reindeer during the winter. Yellow-orange is most often seen in species like deer, lions, and bears. And white is observed in animals like deer and elk. Mixed colors, tapetum lucidum can appear as a combination, such as greenish yellow in horses, or golden green in blue, or with a blue periphery in ruminants. But it also says at the same time that can vary wildly from species to species and individuals depending on their diet.
I was about to say, and what they eat can affect it too.
But it's definitely most common to be that bright in predators.
Well, obviously it's a predator too because its eyes are facing
Forward facing.
And they were huge. I mean, those eyes looked to be like the size of almost baseballs.
No, yeah, it was definitely a big animal.
Yeah, there's no chance that was a deer because deer's eyes don't face forward like that.
Well, and I can't see a deer hanging around. I mean, they're
No. Generally, once you've lit up a deer, they're pretty quick to move off. And if you notice, like when you're driving down the road, the only way you're going to see a deer eyeshine is when it turns and looks at you. If it's facing away, or if it's not directly in your cone of lights, you're not going to see the eyeshine. You'll see the motion as they're trying to cross the road, but unless they're picking up direct light from the headlights, you don't see the eyeshine at all. These were luminescing just off indirect light, which is not typical.
And we don't have any large cats here. I mean, we have bobcat here and coyote, but we don't have any wolf or mountain lion here. Nothing of big stature, big cat wise, big dog.
Well, but it's pretty high off the ground too, so that would kind of leads to it not being a mountain lion. Because a mountain lion, if it was in a tree, would be pretty far up a tree. It wouldn't be in the 7 to 8 foot range.
Yeah, and those trees out there, I mean, that's a mature stand of hardwoods. There's plenty of tall trees with long outstanding branches for them to be in. I couldn't see them wanting to hunt from the ground if we had them.
And if it had been any kind of deer, just the sound of the side-by-side coming probably would have sent them packing.
Yeah, that's what Varric just said.
So this was something that not only wasn't bothered by the sound, in fact, it may have been drawn in by the sound.
Which, if we go back to the tracks, we already know that was the case because it was following y'all.
Right. Was more interested in that.
That's why if you look at the tracks by themselves or you look at the video by themselves, they're both compelling pieces of evidence. But when you put them together and put the time frame together and connect all the dots, it paints the picture of whatever it was not scared of the side-by-side. It was following y'all. And when you came back, it was still sitting there waiting, and y'all caught it sitting in the woods watching you. So it was not scared. It was curious, if nothing else. That's not, that, like I said, that's not deer behavior. It's not a small animal that was scared by a loud noise. It was something that was very intrigued by what was going on. It paints a real big picture of
that night we were in Bennett Springs, Robbie. When we saw Eyeshine in the trees and slowed down and realized it was a bunch of deer, as soon as we slowed down, they were gone. Mm-hmm. They vanished like mist out into the woods. If they, because they know a vehicle slowing down is going to be promptly followed by a loud crack. And so I don't think that was any way, shape, or form anything but a big predator.
Yep.
Roxanne wants to know how y'all feel about going out at night now.
Well, I've never looked over my shoulder so many times trotting the trash down to the end of my half-mile driveway in my life.
I'm not sure I'd be okay pulling the trash can down. I'm not okay pulling the trash can down to my driveway, which is slightly.
I'm not sure I want to move anymore.
Y'all, there's a very credible dog man sighting right here in Missouri, just inside the city limits of St. Louis, where a guy was taking his trash out and a dog man approached him. That's in town. So yeah, they're not going to be afraid to come up with you taking your trash out at night.
No. Well, obviously
he got approached in a city.
I have to admit, every time I go out at night, my dogs are out with me because I know if my dogs are acting weird, I need to get my butt back in the house.
That's a very good thing. Trust your dog.
Yeah, I try not to go
always trust your dog.
Unless I have to.
Jeff Yarrington says, Maggie, tell them about scaring the poachers.
Oh, we had some poaching trespassers not that long ago. And that howl that Robbie played earlier, he had shared with me earlier. And I actually could see their headlamps at the back edge of our property. And they're not supposed to be out here. It's hunting season, obviously. And my husband works nights, so it's not unusual for people to try to sneak in and hunt after hours and do things they shouldn't. So I quietly put a speaker out and played that howl, and I have never seen 4 headlights scramble like disco globes in the air in my life. I'm sure they were picking brambles out of places they didn't know they had. They expedited part of that quickly, yes.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's typically not something you're expecting to hear if you're out there.
I thought,
thinking you're being sneaky.
And I'm pretty sure that they, as you call it, DA, had serious brown pants moment.
That was a look at the time moment. It is time to be anywhere else.
Yeah,
I would have loved to seen that video.
Going all over. Start using that. Look at the time. Look at the time.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
That's funny. That's what you should have set the camera up on, Maggie. Watching them headlamps go
Right, and I should have, but I didn't want to give myself away either, and like have them not fall for it either. So
That's fair.
I wanted them to stay away.
That's funny. Oh, that cracks me up.
I'm covering it. You can't see
Have you
it.
guys noticed any kind of like structures in the area, like bedding? Dogmen tend to make nest-like beds. Bigfoot have been known to make nest-like beds as well, but Bigfoot also will make tree structures and things like that. But generally, dogmen you'll find like it just looks like a big bird's nest.
No, but to be honest, I haven't really gotten out of that driver's seat to go poking around.
No, she sends us.
We're the bait.
They're the bait.
And I haven't gone in the woods. I just stay on the road and look at the tracks.
Please tell me you haven't tried to bait them.
No, God, no. Well,
There's a lot of people that
Oh wow!
She's just baiting us out there.
No,
you are
no.
the bait. You
Yeah.
are the bait.
Clearly, Abby was the bait that evening.
We
now
should
that
form
we've
our
seen
own
that.
support group.
But
A
no,
lot of people will leave out like what they call gifting, leaving out food for Bigfoot or Dogman.
No,
And
thanks.
I think it's a horrible idea because when you stop feeding them, they tend to get pissed off.
No, I would prefer not to have them any closer than what they appear to already be.
I was hoping, yeah, it was what you were going to say.
When I feed enough creatures on my own, I don't need to be feeding a Bigfoot. That's out of the budget.
Yeah, that's not a very smart thing to do.
Do you guys feel like it was hunting you?
Well, now that we look back at it, yeah. Kind of feels that way, or at least,
The thought of it.
yeah.
I was just gonna say they can bait me. They can put some food out for me. I'm for sure to come find it.
I'm with Race.
Yeah.
That guy got to eat. Someone mentioned deviled eggs. Well, I will fight him for the deviled eggs. No thanks.
That
Those are
sounds
mine.
right now.
Scotch eggs.
Scotch eggs. Heck yeah.
So
I was gonna
what?
ask you something? Go ahead, Rob.
Jacqueline.
So is there? Because I've done this before, and I know DA has, and we've both talked about it. You know, now that you have had this experience, is thinking back, is there anything that you might have run across before that you're like, well, that's kind of weird, and just kind of filed it off and, in the back of your mind, not thought anything else about it. And now you have this. Is there anything that makes you think, oh, that lines up with what I found back here, or, or anything that, that kind of
That would kind of make us, well,
The window. Annie going, the dogs
Oh.
went through the window.
now that you mention it, 2 years ago,
Yeah.
we
We talked about that right after
Yeah,
we saw
I
what
have-
I saw.
2 pit bulls, and one of them went through one of my interior windows after something outside. Well, we were not home, but with the level where she had to have jumped up to go where she hit in the window inside,
That window's at least 8-10 foot off the
10
ground.
foot off the ground outside. And she made a conscious level to jump up and
They can kind of see. How
Yeah,
small it
it's a
is in the
picture
corner
window.
of the screen.
Yeah.
Right there is the window.
and it's probably more than 3/4 of the way up, and that couch wasn't there at that time. She made a flat level jump from the floor and punched a hole right through the window. So I'm
Was she
kind
okay?
of wondering. Yeah, she didn't have a scratch on her, and I don't know how she
Good.
did it because she shattered the glass. But it makes me wonder what was outside looking in, maybe that she was upset about.
They're used to the wildlife and
They're used to
everything
the
coming
wildlife
by.
here.
They're used to deer. They're even used to coyotes
Mhm.
coming through here.
That's pretty telling right there, because if it was a person out there, she probably wouldn't even have been able to see it.
No, she wouldn't have. Or she would have just alerted and barked and called it a day. I cannot
Right,
see
they're
her
pretty
attacking
tiny.
the window and punching a hole in it over a person.
That's pretty interesting. Yeah, because like I said, we've talked about that, and like tree structures is a perfect example of that. Back when we were kids, when we didn't have the internet, we had all the access to all this information, all this, people putting pictures of all that stuff on it. I can't tell you how many times I've walked through the woods and seen something as a kid, or even a little bit older as a young adult, and seen something like that. That's possibly what it could have been. But then now that we're in the age of everything being on the internet, you go back and see it. I'm like, hey, I've seen plenty of things that look like that.
Sure, like tree structure type things. We've mushroom hunted all our lives. I've seen structure type stuff, but is it just the wind? But now that you correlate everything, but none of that, of course, was around the house here. But there's similar things that make you wonder. But at the time that this sighting took place, also, our local Facebook pet finder page was just full of missing cats and dogs in this area. It was a daily thing to see 5-10 cats missing,
and it was
numerous dogs
specified in this 3 square mile area.
That's definite sign you've got a big predator in the area, because those are easy meals.
Yep.
Look at the Beast of Seven Shoots. That thing had abducted somebody's dog.
And is that the one that's the more mandrill looking, like Good Way type?
Yeah. Yeah, there's lots of stories about them taking pets. Even the Lakota legend of the Shunka Werican, it was called the Dog Stealer.
Wow. Yeah, that Facebook page was, and we haven't seen hardly any missing pets in the recent months. But during that time frame, like August.
Right. Now that you say that, it did slow down a lot.
From probably mid-July to mid-August, it was just tons of missing dogs and cats in that area.
So that may be some good research for y'all to do, is go back and start looking further back and see if there's a
cycle there.
Yeah, go back, a couple of years and look during that time frame of those years and see if there's a spike or an uptick of things like that being reported during that time frame. If you do that probably give you a good notion of the time that they're active in that area.
Sure. Do you think it's a migratory type thing, Robbie, or more of a breeding thing?
I think it's more of a territorial type thing. It's like DA and I have talked about. You could call it migrating. I just think they have a really big range, a big territory, because
they move through.
No matter what you're talking about, Dogman, Bigfoot, they're not going to stay in a small confined area, because something that big that needs that kind of caloric intake is going to run the food
I need
out.
To step away for just a minute.
Okay.
Can you cover for me?
Yeah, I got you. Something that big that needs that kind of caloric intake is not going to be able to stay in a small area, because it's going to run the food source dry. So, like I said, I guess you could call it migration if you wanted to. I just think it has a big territorial range, because like cougars usually have around a 250 square mile territory that they'll patrol. Big grizzlies probably have even bigger than that. So I think these things have, maybe 2,000-3,000 mile areas that they just patrol. So like I said, you could call it migrating, but I think they just follow that circular pattern, and it's probably, they probably follow the game species. If they eat deer, which obviously they probably do, then yeah, they follow that. But that's just my opinion on it.
Sure. Yeah, their food source would be plentiful. We have deer galore, and then we have, a state game preserve that's not more than 5 miles to the south of us. So that's all protected deer in there, in a river system, and
and Lakeshore is all protected, and
yeah, they kind of have a buffet to choose from around here.
Yeah, and when you start looking at that, because like I said, when we've gone to Joe Bald and Combs Ferry and things like that, and White's, who's in the chat, will tell you, depending on where you're at what time of year, you may get a different type of encounter. And I think that's got to do with they kind of
moving through.
I'm sure there's times that there's a crossover, and you'll find them in the same territory at the same time, which is, I think, and DA will agree with this. I think that's why we had such a response in Moon Valley when I did that howl that time, is because there wasn't supposed to be no crossover at that particular point. And
I want to play the Pickens howl in Moon Valley.
Yeah.
about the same
But
time of the year.
I think that's why we got such a quick and sudden response to that, because hey, this ain't your time to be here. What are you doing?
Right
We-
place, wrong time.
We're paid up until August. What are you doing here?
Right, we're supposed to be here.
Kay Bauer says, are there any dry riverbeds in that area?
Dry riverbeds? I wouldn't say dry. We went through an extreme drought this summer.
There are some dry creeks,
Dry
but not
creek areas, but not
rivers.
riverbeds. No, I mean that's the Kalamazoo River that runs through here, and that's a big river system. That in Lake Michigan.
I mean, it was low, but
Right.
it wasn't dry.
Lake Michigan is 4 miles to our west here, so we have good water sources.
Yeah, that's a guarantee you're going to find them in your areas. You got good water sources, good food sources, and plenty of opportunity for shelter.
Yeah, it's heavily wooded and plentiful water here.
What was the first thing that went through your mind when you saw that Eyeshine?
When we first saw it,
Because I heard you drop the F-bomb. What the is
oh,
that?
Oh yeah, I was just like, my stomach dropped. What the F was that? Was my stomach dropped, and then after the blink, I was just like, holy, I was froze.
Well, yeah, when you were having trouble shifting into gear, yeah,
My
I could totally get it.
My shifter couldn't shift. Nothing was working correctly.
My mouth couldn't talk.
You couldn't talk. Yeah, we were just we were stuck on stupid, I would say. Just nothing would operate right.
Did you notice at the time that it had gotten so much closer when you started to move, or was it when you watched the video
No,
later?
how we actually watched the video, and it wasn't actually even when we watched the video. It was like, who did we send it to? That
DA played it and pointed it out how much closer it had gotten,
something.
because I was just trying to get that thing.
I watched it in one of your podcasts, I believe, when you already played it, and I heard you guys mention it, and I was like, oh,
It did.
it did.
Yeah, it
Light
was
bulb.
way closer at the end, like like almost on top of you closer.
Do you ever look for little people?
Kevin Bode. Yes, Kevin, the salmon do make it up that far, and there is a dam.
Do you ever look for little people inside?
I'm only 5'5", so I consider myself little.
My wife's 5'2", 5'2.5". She says that half counts.
It does.
No, when you're 5'2", that half has to count.
We prefer vertically challenged.
I used to joke and tell people I was going to file a class action lawsuit against the state of Missouri for building the ground too close to my butt.
Let's see. That works.
That video is fantastic, y'all. I am so glad you caught that because the night when Robbie and I had a similar experience down in Joe Bald, the thought of recording didn't even enter our brains.
Well, I think the only thing that allowed us to do that was the fact that we had caught what I thought was a reflector or a tail light prior to seeing it, prior to, buzzing around. And it was like, what in the hell is that? And then the howl was the clincher that scared the bejesus out of us.
Between the howl, the Eyeshine, and the tracks, and what Kunbo thinks, I definitely think you had one or more dogmen either stalking you or trying to figure out what you were doing in the area.
Yep.
But considering their tracks were on top of the side-by-side tracks, I think it was more the first one. I think they were stalking you.
Checking us out.
Yeah, like I
Yeah,
said,
the realization of that's scary.
Maybe
could've
one's
been-
under my
could've
car
just
right
been-
now waiting to go home with me.
Don't say that.
could have just been practice.
We can walk out together.
If it was a young one learning what to do, but who knows? Southwest Hunter wanted to know if you have any caves in the area.
No.
None you know of.
Well, we're all pretty much sand dunes in this area.
Yeah, not real conducive to a lot of caves. There are tons of them around here. So I've got a question. From this point going forward, now that you've got a good idea of what's out there and when it's going to be out there, do you have plans for putting out like trail cams or taking groups out or spending more time out there yourselves? Or are you just like, oh, we know it's out there, let's stay the hell out of there?
We know it's out there, and they think if we go for rides, it'll be during the daytime. And
We use the buddy system.
we use the buddy system, yes.
I would
One
definitely
goes
keep a
for
shotgun on the dash of that side by
keep in
side.
good contact with each other if we do go out for rides, but we make sure to be home before dark now. Which means we won't be going out till spring because it's dark here all the time now.
Well, I don't know. I should go for a ride at some point, but you know,
And it's cold.
it is cold.
Well, you know, I don't think the cold really stops them. So
Stops
you're
my
still-
old ass.
yeah,
You know,
it slows me
no,
down a little more than it once did.
I told you we should take the side by side out in the snow.
Bye.
I agree, Abby. It's cold.
No, so bye. Like you guys go. Hop out there.
You can be our emergency contact.
Don't call me.
It's dark. I'm not going.
Have you guys? I know you guys are kind of friends with a lot of people in the community. Have you guys shared this with any other researchers? I know you mentioned Kumbo.
Kumbo has seen it. Other than that, I don't know about any other researchers that have seen it. No.
I really appreciate you guys sharing with us, especially right after it happened. You sent that to us.
I guess to Robbie and DA, they're gonna probably do what we did. Brown
and it really does line right up with a lot of the stuff that we've had happen to us.
Yeah,
And
it was something.
yeah, that morning you sent it to me. I looked at it and I was like, well, I looked at it quick because I was at work and I didn't get a chance. So I went back after I got done with all my morning duties. I looked at it again. I'm like, whoa. So I sent it to DA and I'm like, of course, he gets up a lot later than I do. So I had to wait, a couple hours before he get it. Then he responds with, holy, where'd you get this?
Yeah, that was kind of, you heard my reply up there.
Yeah,
it was something. And, Abby and I both, we made eye contact with it. I mean, when we looked, it felt like it was just staring right deep at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it was staring and locking eyes with you, it was more than just, acknowledging that you were there. I think it was sizing you up. Stan 3819 Stan 3819 says, "What do the men folk think about this creature? Have they had any encounters?"
They have not had any encounters. They've had different thoughts on it. And none of them are beating down the doors to go for a ride with us, though, either. So
I don't have that problem. I just have my dogs.
And my wife was completely on the fence. My wife was completely on the fence about the subject. She wasn't sure what she believed, but she knew I was into the subject until we spent a week up in a cabin in the mountains in the Smoky Mountains, and I did that tongue pop call, and then the next day we had a 19-inch track outside our cabin, and she's like, "You can never do that again when I'm with you."
Yeah, that would give you pause, I'm sure.
And
But nobody's disbelieving. They just aren't beating down the door to go out and take a look either. So,
well, folks, we are a quarter till the top of the hour. We're going to have to start winding things down because we have the end credits to play, and we've got a few things we always do at the end of the show. Y'all, I want to thank you guys for coming on and sharing this video and your evidence with us. This has been a fantastic show. I really appreciate you guys coming on. And if you guys get anything else, I mean, whether it's something beating on the side of the house, or you get more images, or you get lucky and catch something else on camera, let us know. We'd definitely love to have y'all back.
well, thank you.
I'm really, really excited to see what else goes on in that area.
Thank you.
And most importantly, y'all be careful.
Oh, we will. We were thinking because you're not supposed to carry a handgun on a side-by-side, but a flare gun is an exceptional or accepted part of an emergency kit in a side-by-side. So I don't think
What about a 12 gauge?
Have a hole blown in it or set on fire. So we'll be sure to take one of those with us in the future.
Well, definitely. Well, y'all be careful. Watch your backs.
We will.
And now that you know those
Thank
things
you.
out there, I think it's going to make your safety precautions a little more.
Now that we know they're
little
watching
more
our back
intense.
as well, it changes the game.
So again, thank you guys for coming on. We really
Thank
appreciated
you.
having you guys so much. And you guys are welcome back anytime. And like I said, if you find anything at all, get a hold of me or Robbie, and we're thrilled to look at it, and then we'll see about getting you guys back on. So in the meantime, you all be careful. And again, thank you for sharing your video and your pictures with us, and thank you for spending time hanging out with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having us.
you.
We've
Anytime.
appreciated
Y'all
it.
have a great night.
You too. Thank
And
you.
folks, as we start winding things down, we want to mention all of our affiliates. Don't forget the good folks over at SigwoArms.com. That's SigwoArms.com. They're a proud supporter of the channel, and we're proud to support all our veteran and first responder-owned businesses. Sigwo has the licenses to make all of your Dark Frontiers, or codename Wild Hunt, Pew Pews. If you're into the AR platforms, they can put it on there. I've got one, and they did a wonderful job. They also manufacture their own ammo as well as firearms, and your full line of whisper pickles if you want to protect your hearing. But check them out. Again, the two of the guys that run the place are called Cody. So get a hold of the Codys at SigwoArms.com. Let them know we sent you. And don't forget to check out the good folks over at Dark Angel Medical. If you're going to be going out like these ladies just did, make sure you got a med kit. Because, that's one of those things that if you need it and don't have it, it's going to be like a parachute. If you ever need it and don't have it, you're probably never going to need it again. Because it's the time chooses you, as Doc says. So check out darkangelmedical.com. Use discount code cryptid20 for 20% off your order, and it is HSA and FSA certifiable if you're a first responder and you've got credits to spend. And last but not least, Robbie, you want to tell them about the last one?
Yep. Be sure to check out mine and DA's books on Amazon.com. You can also find DA's books on his author page, or you can find mine on my author page at Amazon. Check us out. Also, check out Luca Jacobs. Luca does our covers for DA and I, and she also writes very good books of her own. She just released her newest book, so go check it out. Because if you like mine and DA's books, you'll like hers. Other than that, DA.
I forgot to mention Scallywag Tactical. Check out scallywagtactical.com and use discount code DARoberts10 for 10% off your order. They're all veteran-owned companies, first responder-owned companies. We're very proud to support them. And that leads us to the other little bit of coverage, and that is the 22 a Day Foundation, or mission22.org, whichever one you prefer. We lose 22 veterans a day to suicide, and that is 22 too many. I've had too many friends personally that I've seen buried under that folded flag. If Doc were here, he'd agree. Robbie has as well. It's never an easy thing to hear that last call on the radio or to hear taps played as that flag is folded. And these men and women have seen and dealt with a great deal in their careers and in their lives. So reach out to them. Let them know you're thinking about them. Let them know you care, because 22 a day is 22 too many. PTSD is a hell of a demon to fight it, and they shouldn't have to fight it on their own. Don't let the hard days win, folks. And at the end of the show, you'll see that there's contact information for Mission 22. And if you're a veteran, you want to reach out to a Veterans Helpline, that information is all there. Please use it, because I'd rather hear your story than read your obituary. Again, folks, one more time, reach out to your friends and family. Let them know you're thinking about them, because you never know when that one phone call or that one text might be what keeps them off the edge for the day. So definitely reach out. And folks, we appreciate all of you guys hanging out with us tonight. I think we had an awesome show. We're actually a little ahead of schedule, like farther than I thought we would be. But yeah, hey, Race put up the happy Thanksgiving, and don't forget you got Turkey Day coming up in a week. We will still have a show on Wednesday night, but obviously we won't be doing one on Thursday night. We never do one on Thursday night. But if you guys are going to be traveling over the next week or so to go to your families and see relatives and loved ones and stuff like that for this Turkey Day, just all be careful. Traffic's always going to be bad. And folks get crazy around the holidays, especially if you're going to go out Black Friday shopping. And my hat's off to you if you do. I'll do mine from here on Amazon. Thank you much. I'd rather brave a room full of cryptids than a room full of angry shoppers. But yeah, folks, just be safe. Be good. Be safe. Be good to one each other, and keep each other in your prayers. We got a lot of folks going through some rough times, and we all need them at one point in our lives. And I've needed them, and Robbie's needed them, and Doc's needed them, and half y'all in the chat, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We've all prayed for each other at one point or another. So let's just keep that going. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys being part of the show, being part of the experience. And don't forget to join us on Saturday night. We will have the show up in the next day or so. And that'll be the night we do the 10,000 subscriber giveaways. We're going to have some books. Robbie's going to have a few books. I'm going to have some books. Doc is going to have a med kit in it. So hopefully you guys will be tuning in. You got to be present to win, and you'll have to be in one of the chats where we can do the randomizers. That means it's going to have to be on YouTube. So definitely, make sure you're in the chat for that. And we're going to have some good stuff to give away. And again, thank you guys for helping us get to 10K. It's been a long road, and we're dang happy to be here. And onward and upward with bigger and better things. Because I think our time with Unex Radio and the Unex podcast group, I think it's going to be great for all of us. And I can't wait to see where it takes us. Robbie, you got anything else you want to throw in?
Just go check out the books. Go check out Dark Angel Medical, Scallywag Tactical, Sigwo Arms. All our great affiliates, Luca, go check all those out. Thank y'all for 10K, and that's all I got to say about that.
Robbie, you want to take us out with the toast?
Sure thing. Raise a glass with us. Doesn't matter what it is. This is from the old Irish drinking song, "The Parting Glass." It's about those who have gone on. Sometimes at the end of the night, but sometimes to the great beyond. So, as I say, raise a glass, and it goes like this. But since it fell into my lot that I should rise, and you should not, I'll gently rise and softly call. Good night and joy be to you all. Good night, everybody. See you on Saturday. Slàinte mhath.
Slàinte mhath. See you Saturday, and don't forget Monday Mayhem. Slàinte.
Plains, the winds are howling, saloon doors swinging, shadows growling. 3 lawmen stand tough as rawhide. Yeah, Doc and DA, nothing can abide. Whiskey shots and poker faces, staring down the darkest spaces in this town where legends roam. These boys bring justice, sending evil home. Cryptid lawmen, wild and free, hunting monsters for all to see. With silver bullets and grit of steel, they fight the darkness, make the demons squeal. From dusty canyons to moonlit plains, justice rides with wind and rains. Cryptid lawmen, a fearsome sight, standing tall against the endless night. Jed's a howler, claws of steel. Doc's a biter, makes the devil real. But DA's a shifty one, a shape-shifting soul. Can turn to anything, takes any form, takes control. Tonight the chupacabras come to town, sucking the life from all around. But these lawmen, they ain't afraid. They'll face the darkness unafraid. Cryptid lawmen, wild and free, hunting monsters for all to see. With silver bullets and grit of steel, they fight the darkness, make the demons squeal. From dusty canyons to moonlit plains, justice rides with wind and rains. Cryptid lawmen, a fearsome sight, standing tall against the endless night. Full moon rises, bat wings flap, the air grows cold, a chill and trap. But these lawmen, they're ready to fight underneath the pale moonlight. Jed and Doc transform with a howl. DA shifts, becomes a night owl. Together they stand a force so strong against the evil right in the wrong. Cryptid lawmen, wild and free, hunting monsters for all to see. With silver bullets and grit of steel, they fight the darkness, make the demons squeal. From dusty canyons to moonlit plains, justice rides with wind and rains. Cryptid lawmen, a fearsome sight, standing tall against the endless night.